saying. I'm a postdoctoral fellow for the NSF Data 1 project. I'm situated at the Templars World Constellation, and I also work for the University of New Mexico, although I've never lived there. So, I don't have a timer on this, so I'm going to take that off. My project, the overarching goals has to do with data integration. If you want to kind of pull together data in different formats into some sort of centralized application, then some of the strategies that we use are very beneficial for you. One of the things that we focus on are web standard languages and using logic to do reasoning within the backend of the applications. So we're doing work with RDF and OWL description logic using semantic web reasoners. And within this project, I partnered with Evan Patton, who's also in the Templars world, on developing a pretty modular, very nice architecture for kind of bringing in different capabilities into the project, different data sources. So you might have a module that implements different things that correspond to the user interface or to some sort of new data and hooking it into a schema within a representation mapping language. So it's pretty structured in terms of how you can plug in and add more things to it and enable different types of search. So for example, you might have a very specific type of taxonomy that you pull from some sort of electronic media that you can render into OWL or RDFS, that you can have some correspondence between the logical axioms and the way that we render it using, we use this JS tree library and jQuery and all this fun stuff on the front side. And so we have a very clean API between, we're using Tomcat servlets to the JavaScript front end. So if you have stronger background in JavaScript or Java server side, you can kind of plug in and join one side or the other and learn about the other side if you like. I'm sure you all are very quite confident with JavaScript and so on. But this is kind of a very well-structured modular project. We do various things with performance analysis of reasoning across different data sources. We've got this sort of workflow involved that we take unstructured and semi-structured data sources. We do some conversion to RDF. We hook in various sort of schema level and knowledge resources to enable different types of questions at sort of a knowledge level. And we have this really nice front end, pretty much all driven by JavaScript. So my project is sort of centered on environmental and ecological concerns like drinking water, levels of arsenic, and population levels of various birds, and anything that you're actually interested in that's relating to environmental and ecological sciences is fruitful for kind of plugging in and using the data that you're interested in allowing search for through these interfaces. So someone can sit there and search. We use the Google Maps API for the front end and allow people to search in different facets in terms of the domain, in terms of maybe different types of regulations they're interested in, different species of birds they're interested in. And we have this data available from the eBird project where there's just terabytes of data for different states that we pull in, and we pull in their schema for that into OWL, which they don't really do and don't provide ability to do this. It's mainly as a dump. So a lot of this is web service based on the back side of it in connection to the UI here. Allow you to kind of plot data, the bird counts alongside water measurements of different chemicals that we have, regulatory information at the state, as well as the EPA level, and we're interested in the WHO levels of different chemicals. So there's a lot of little projects that anybody can jump into that is pretty well structured and can take advantage of your strengths and allow you to grow in areas that you're not as familiar with. It's kind of your thing. We're partnering with the Dam and Freshwater Institute. They have data on the species and on the water quality side that we're looking into. There's plenty of work to do there. And we're also developing interfaces for encoding your original tabular data into RDF that allows you to use various vocabularies that are used in the ontology world that uses a little bit of reasoning to enable a person to make choices about what their data means. I might be able to show you a little quick screen thing of that. This is all on GitHub. We use, Git, we use Maven. We have a pretty good environment set up for this. There's already some folks already in this project that are undergraduates, as well as graduate PhD students that you can take advantage of their expertise. We're doing some things with geospatial reasoning using the GeoSparkle standard that you can hop onto as well. Let's see, where's that? Right here. So if you want to know for a specific geospatial feature, if the polygon of that overlaps or is contained within a different feature, some sort of city or town or river or lake, and you want to sort of make a connection between the selection of those polygons and the way the faceted search, hierarchical search works, and the containment hierarchy and back and forth sort of the feedback loop to be able to find allow somebody to find the sort of data they're looking for. That's something that we're working on right now. And we pretty much turn any little project that comes out of this into an abstract that we submit to American Geophysical Union or various little workshops, so you can get a publication out of this, and maybe a good reference for me, for maybe your next summer project somewhere. Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things in terms of based on the scheme that you use for the annotation to be used for generating the Java modules that we use within the backend. I have some ideas for that, use some templating to see if certain constraints are satisfied. You can generate a module that we plug into different types of applications. Let's see, let me give you a quick demo of this front end annotator bit, which we had worked on over the summer with several students. Scale this down a bit. So somebody wants to import a CSV file for so here's some data from the Dam Freshwater Institute. Use various JavaScript plugins for rendering. So we can also, you can't see all the way here, but we have this sort of hierarchical faceted search on the right. Let's see if I can scale this down. So I can select what we call an ontological representation of a conceptualization. I can select the provenance-based ontology, and so we're using a lot of interesting APIs that have been developed within our research community. So I can say, well, the things in this column represent what we consider an entity. So I can drag and drop that. And that provides like a class restriction of all the things that become minted as URIs, universal reference identifiers. And we can describe the relationship between what's covered in the relation for each row to what's in each column. So we end up with this graph representation, RDF, that you can basically do various kinds of reasoning on to enable various kinds of search. So this is sort of a nice tool that enables us to translate data to be used in the Semanteco search interface portal more easily. And there's various things that we want to do with this in terms of using first order logic type reasoning, subset within description logic in the back end. So basically semantic web applications is kind of the theme here. Does anyone have any questions? Did I use any words that you guys didn't know that you want me to define now? You can email me if you're interested. Our project's on GitHub. Maybe you just look at it, or maybe just email me and later find out you're not interested. It's okay. Okay. Yeah?
First, thanks for showing us very interesting stuff. Do you have any ideas of how many folks are interested in getting involved with this on the students?
As many as are interested in. Yeah. We've got sort of a core lab in there. There's undergrad that we covered the expenses over the summer that did some really good work on this annotator front-end piece. So it's kind of, we'd love to have whoever and find out what their strengths are and try and leverage those while also helping them build up their experience in areas they'd like to grow more in. So, I think we're applying some good software engineering best practices and just be a part of that project and the way that we're using revision control across 5 or 6 different team members. It's probably a good experience.